presentation will be given as a keynote in the Frontier session, and it is connected with our research interest, obviously. Laboratory for Cell Research and Application, which is located at the University of Warsaw. And it is a very specific laboratory because we are working on basic science, applied science, and working with a new tissue-engineered product. We are at the same time a kind of a pharmaceutical producer. That's somehow unusual, but this is strictly connected with the fact that tissue-engineered products are classified by law as medicinal products. And for that reason, if you would like to prepare your cell-containing product for clinical application, then you must follow the rules which are described in pharmaceutical law. And obviously, it is extremely demanding. To be honest, when I realized how demanding it is, I started to think if it was the right decision to try to go in this direction. Now I'm pretty satisfied because we are happy to have 2 clinical trials completed with the products which were prepared and produced by ourselves. This is a huge satisfaction. However, on the other hand, I realized very many problems which laboratories like ours must face to continue their work. And my presentation is connected with this issue. So this is, I would say, not that much scientific talk because there are not very many scientific details put in. But it is definitely intentionally because I have the feeling that cell-based therapies are right now in a very critical moment because the majority of laboratories who try to work with new products and want to prepare it for clinical observation, for clinical medical experiments must face problems which may be too difficult. And it may even stop the development of the field. Application of cell-based therapies is, I would say, something absolutely wonderful in the field of tissue engineering. Tissue engineering is obviously mainly the applied science. We use our basic knowledge from biological sciences as well as from material sciences. Nevertheless, tissue engineering in its heart is mainly applied science. So for this type of science, clinical trial, clinical observation, and being so close to the patient bed is probably the best criterion of success. So we definitely should move toward this direction. However, there are so many problems on this road that it may be even stopped, I would say. And these difficulties comes from too much formalities, probably, because of the fact that this is extremely cost-consuming area. All consumables connected with GMP production, which is necessary in this case, are extremely expensive, and the producers are completely crazy, I would say. And they do not know the limit, not at all, and we must face it because we are obliged to use GMP certified products, and we have not that much choice, I would say. So that's the problem. On the other hand, the field is extremely promising. The trial which we have performed was successful. Maybe it's worth mention our trial in which we used adipose-derived stem cells in allogenic application for wound healing in foot ulcer treatment. And it was extremely successful. And not only this, we constructed our research in the way in which we were able to detect the real activity of the delivered cells, which is, from the scientific point of view, a critical issue for tissue engineering, in my opinion, because we have a lot of observations which are performed in vitro or in animal studies, and we do not have very many clinical observations which might confirm the mode of action in case of cells which are applied for research. And we were happy to collaborate very strictly, very closely with clinicians. And we worked together on the clinical protocol just to make cells the only variable in the system, which turned out to be extremely fruitful, because thanks to this, we were able to, first of all, detect the donated cells in the wound bed, and we discovered a lot of proteins which were obviously connected with the presence of cells. And we may postulate right now some pathways by which those proteins may act in wound bed, especially that we realized that they were positively correlated with the development of healing. So we are very excited about these results. We are right now preparing our manuscript for submission, because this trial had been closed just 2 months ago. So it's a very fresh result. We are very excited about it. But on the other hand, all those problems, formal, financial, organizational problems which are behind should be underlined, because I'm fully convinced that it is a huge risk that universities will not be able to take care of such laboratories, because it is beyond the possibilities of the university, definitely. And I know from my colleagues in the field that they face the same problems at their universities. So it should be noticed by financial bodies that there is a need for special fund for this type of research. And that's the main point of my talk.